So the new Tesla Model Y L launch series starts at $61,990 and deliveries start around September or October, according to Tesla. But this isn't just a stretched Model Y. Tesla has made meaningful upgrades throughout the entire vehicle. The vehicle is now 7 inches longer than the standard Model Y, adding up to 196 inches overall. And that extra space allowed Tesla to develop and build a true 6-seater configuration with captain's chairs and a lot more space. And when it comes to headroom, don't worry about having that extra space above your head in that third row. Tesla has added a whole lot more space back there, so you don't have to worry about if you're a little bit taller. You've got plenty of room back there. And I've seen a lot of reviews when this vehicle came out in the different markets, like when it was over there in China and in the Australian market, and the reviewers all showed themselves getting in and out of it, and they had plenty of room, headspace in that third row. So it's good to know, as the vehicle comes to the American market, that there is that. It's a true third row, and you have, a good amount of room back there. Obviously, it's not a full-size SUV. It is still on the smaller side as far as being, it's a smaller SUV. But at the same time, Tesla has really gone a long way to maximize the amount of space within inside the vehicle, and it really looks like it has a great amount of space inside from everything that I've seen so far. And guys, this cabin it's pretty darn luxurious, especially for this price point of $61,990. I mean, everything I've seen so far, it's a pretty premium feel to this cabin. Especially in the back area. With the captain's chairs and everything you get back there, just the materials and the level of comfort and everything that Tesla has added. It seems like a very premium experience in the back and in the front. And that second row, guys, those captain's chairs are heated and ventilated. And they have the power armrest that goes up and down, allowing you to have that easier access to the third row. And so that's a great feature there. There's even air vents, built right into the B pillars. So that's very convenient to have, the air circulating and have that, that level of comfort there as well. And then the third row has heated seats, not ventilated seats. And then I believe all 3 rows have USB ports, and the third row has the cup holders and everything you need back there to be comfortable and have plenty of room. And then another really cool feature is that the rear seats and the captain's chairs are all also folding. So both the second and the third row seats fold completely flat. And that's a super nice feature. Imagine if you're in the third row and you put down the captain's chairs, it could almost double as like a little tabletop or something if you wanted to set your laptop there or something. I could imagine that would be a kind of a good use case there, and just kind of open up the cabin if you wanted to sit in the very back and have that those seats folded down. So, or you can just lay everything flat, and then you end up with a lot of space back there, guys. And so if you're loading stuff or you're moving stuff around, you have all that extra space in the back. With the longer 7-inch wheelbase, you get significantly more space and cargo room. It ends up being 89 cubic feet of cargo space, which is huge for a smaller SUV like this in this category. So you have a lot of room there. Even with all 6 passengers in there, you're getting that extra space. So it's nice to know that you're covered there. So you'll still have room for multiple full-size suitcases. And I think that's something families are really going to appreciate. On the performance side of things, performance is exactly what you would expect from Tesla. The 0 to 60 is around 4.4 seconds, which is all you need in this kind of a vehicle. And it has good pickup, good get up and go. So that's a pretty fast launch time, if you ask me. And I think in my Model X, it's something like 3.8 seconds. So very similar in the acceleration there. So Tesla's got you covered there. Adequate, it's everything you need. And this vehicle has 325 miles of EPA estimated range, which is great, guys, considering this vehicle weighs a little bit more and it's just a bigger vehicle. So having that ability to still have your 325 miles of range relieves that range anxiety a little bit that some people have. So you're also covered there. And this is an 88 kilowatt battery, so a little bit bigger than the battery in the Juniper standard Model Y. So a little bit bigger battery because it's a little bit bigger vehicle, and so it compensates for that adequately. And you can supercharge at speeds up to 250 kilowatts. Now, one feature I am really excited about is that they're carrying over the 2nd generation suspension from the Model Y Juniper over to the Model Y L Launch Edition. And so this is going to be great because this suspension system is absolutely fantastic at absorbing bumps and giving you a really smooth feel and sturdy feel on the road. And Tesla says it's designed to deliver a smoother and comfortable, quieter and more refined ride. And the silver panoramic glass is designed to reject more heat. Inside, Tesla packed the Model Y L with lots of premium upgrades. You'll find a 16-inch center touchscreen and an 8-inch rear display. An upgraded 18-speaker audio system. This is going to be nice, guys. Tesla always does so great with all their sound systems. I know in the Cybertruck here, it's absolutely amazing. Especially when you get your settings all dialed in. The sound systems in Teslas just honestly can't be beat, especially in the price range. And it has the dual, phone chargers right there on the dash, below the screen. But these are actively cooled in the Tesla Model Y L. So that's kind of a nice upgrade. I know my phone sometimes gets a little bit warm while it's sitting there charging sometimes, so having it be able to cool itself is an excellent feature, I think. And I mentioned this before, but it does have the USB ports for all 3 rows of seating, and then you have your RGB ambient lighting, on the dash and then on the doors. So that's always cool to have. I know in my Cybertruck I have it set to where it kind of goes with the rhythm and the beats of the music. So it's almost like a club inside the truck sometimes, and so it's a fun feature. It's a really cool looking feature to have at night too, just because it kind of lights up the cabin a little bit and gives it a kind of chill feel. I like this kind of the mood it sets in the car in the evenings, and just having it in general to listen to music with. And that all black Tesla headliner that now is available across the entire line of Model Ys is also coming to the Model Y L. And so that's a much better look than the old gray that it replaces. And so it's going to be a great addition, I'm sure, as well to the Model Y L. So excited to see that coming to this car as well. And the Tesla always has the HEPA air filtration, which is, it's nice, especially we live in South Texas. There's a lot of pollen and things like that in the air all the time, a lot of allergens, and so a lot of people suffer pretty bad around here with allergies. So having that extra layer of filtration is phenomenal, and you definitely notice it over other vehicles that aren't equipped with HEPA filtration. And then you've got Tesla's, front bumper camera that has the little washer on it, and so for full self-driving, that comes in handy. It keeps it clean, and it keeps everything moving and operating smoothly with your FSD. So a nice feature to have, and it's also nice to have that front bumper camera. I use it when I'm going into my garage. A lot of times I'll put the bumper camera on, or when I'm parking sometimes. If I'm not on FSD, it can be really nice just to be able to get a visual, and it helps you kind of guide yourself to your preferred parking spot. And Tesla has a lot of different ways that you can personalize the Model Y L. And one of the cool things about the launch edition is that you're able to pick out whatever exterior color and whatever interior that you want, in the vehicle. And so you can pick through all the different colors like stealth gray, diamond black, pearl white, marine blue, and ultra red. But I especially like the newly available to the Model Y L cosmic silver. It's a beautiful color, and from the pictures I've seen, it just looks amazing, and I think that's going to be a top contender that people are going to pick. So if you're planning on getting that one, maybe put your order in, go ahead and place your order as soon as possible, because I think a lot of people are going to pick that one, especially considering you can pick whatever color that you want at no additional cost. It's just one cost for this vehicle at this point, and it just comes in one package, and that's the launch edition package right now. Now on the inside, you can pick the black interior, which usually is the standard interior that there's usually not a cost for, or you can get what's called the Zen Gray interior, which is a beautiful new interior color option specifically for the Model Y L, the long wheelbase. I haven't seen this color option anywhere before, because usually, Tesla, their lighter color like this will be the white interior, and this one is the Zen Gray, and it's a really beautiful, luxurious look to it. I think that's going to be the one people choose the most over the black. And either one you can get, obviously, for the same price of $61,990. But if you were to get that later when it's not in the launch edition, it would probably be like $1,000 or $2,000 upgrade. So me personally, if I order one, which my wife and I are considering it, I'm definitely going to go with that Zen Gray, because it's beautiful when you see it. And so I know Tesla's gonna be back order on that one, because I do think the Zen Gray, although it's lighter than the black, is going to help a lot better. It's going to help a lot more as far as stains and dirt and things like that. It won't show it as much as the white might. Although the white interiors, the Tesla materials that they use, they're great. You usually can just wipe it down and it gets pretty clean, and you don't really see anything even with the white. So I'm assuming that this Zen Gray is going to be at least as good as that as well. Now, getting back to self-driving again, the launch edition does come with 12 months of free FSD, full self-driving. You can't just buy the package outright where you own full self-driving anymore. So it is about $100 a month, $99 a month for you to get. So this comes with it, as part of the package of $61,990. So you don't have to worry about that cost for an entire year. And guys, this also does qualify for the referral program. And so when you check the link below, you can also get an extra 3 months of full self-driving. So that's like 15 months of full self-driving. So that's great to know that you have that, and that you don't have to worry about, paying that extra $100 a month on top of your payment. And so that cuts your cost down a little bit. So it's definitely something to consider, because FSD is really become one of the biggest reasons, one of the biggest safety reasons people, purchase a Tesla, because it is absolutely phenomenal. I use my full self-driving in the Cybertruck about 96% of the time now, and it is amazing. That's all I can say. Over the last year, the improvements that it's made, it's just outstanding, guys. And it's only going to improve from here. It's only going to get better. And right around the corner, you have FSD, full self-driving version 15, that's going to be hitting the market probably towards the end of the year, early 2027, something like that. And that is the one that, according to Tesla, according to Elon and the FSD team, that is the one that will eventually be, capable of unsupervised. So in other words, you don't necessarily have to watch the road. You can do other things while you're driving. We're not there yet. We're still supervised at version 14. I believe right now we're on version 14.3.4, but things are getting so much better almost by the day, guys, and I'm super excited to see how the FSD performs in the Model Y L long wheelbase, because the Model Y is always a top performer when it comes to FSD, just because the sheer amount of them on the road. They have a lot more training data than like they might have with the Cybertruck even. So that is always going to be one of the top performing vehicles that Tesla has. Although they're all pretty darn good at this point. Yeah, having that extra 15 months, 12 months, depending on how you do it. If you go through Tesla or you go through the link I can share with you down below, it's nice to have that peace of mind that you don't have that extra cost for at least the first year. This launch package also comes with a year free of supercharging, which I can tell you again from personal experience. I ended up with a year of free supercharging on the Cybertruck. And although, it's plugged in right now, I charge at home. My home is my gas station 99% of the time. I wake up every single morning with a full charge, a full tank of gas, if you will. I don't supercharge that often when I'm in town, but when I'm going out of town, if I go up to Austin, or if I'm going down to South Padre Island, if I'm going to Houston or Dallas, we hit the superchargers and it's absolutely free. And that would have cost me, $40, $50, if I supercharge several times in a trip, to say Dallas or something, going there and coming back. That cost adds up, and that's something I didn't have to pay, and I won't have to pay until September when my year is up. But I'm gonna miss having that free supercharging. So I highly advise, if you can take advantage of this launch edition and get the free full self-driving and the free supercharging, and it also comes with 12 months of free premium connectivity on top of all the other things that it comes with this launch package. So it's nice to know that's covered as well. And then of course you get all the launch series badging and the puddle lights and the floor mats, and you get a little suede dashboard insert. It's a nice touch. It's decorative, but it looks really nice. Kind of a suede Alcantara little insert that goes up there on the dashboard. And then it has the custom sill plates down below that say, launch series, Model Y L launch series. So nice touches. I think when you turn on the screen, it lights up and it says a little animation that says, launch series, that kind of stuff. And so you get all that, included as part of this launch series, which is the only way that you can purchase a Model Y L right now is in the launch series. And they bundle together all these things to make it just one amazing package. And if you do the math and you were to kind of bat things out from the $61,990, you figure if you would have spent a couple $1,000s on the interior upgrade and $1,000, $2,000 or more for a paint upgrade. And then, you figure in the cost of the FSD of like, say, $1,200 for the year, and premium connectivity adds some, and then all these little things add up. And then obviously you're able to get the launch series packaging and all that stuff, which is kind of nice to have, all the branding and stuff that goes with that. And you're able to get it now instead of waiting. This bundle, I think it's a pretty good value, honestly, after, following Tesla for a long time. I think it's pretty great value. You get a lot of things, and you're able to get everything you want the way you want it at one price, one simple price. And it seems to me to be a good value. So much so that my wife and I are actually considering purchasing one to replace our 2022 Model X, which is that hardware 3 system. So in our Model X is this the 2-row, and this will be a 3rd row with the captain's chairs, which is a feature that my wife and I have both really wanted, those captain's chairs in the back. And I know you could get it in the Model X, but now that the Model X is discontinued, it's kind of like I don't want to go back, and I'd have to purchase another used Model X, maybe a year or two newer, maybe with the hardware 4, and that is still an option. But I think, especially at this price point, $61,990 with all of that's included, it just makes more sense. And it's pretty much a Model X without the Falcon wing doors for what, half the price? Not quite half the price, but a little more than half the price. But still, you get the point. It's an incredible value at $61,990, whereas the Model X's were 100,000 plus vehicles. Some even got even higher than that, the Plaid editions with full self-driving back in the day. But that's another story. So exceptional value. From what I've seen in all the forums on Facebook and X and everything else of people talking about them, it's like so many people are placing their orders. And like I said, Tesla says in September, October is when they're going to start deliveries. Those time frames can always change. Tesla, sometimes it may end up being a little bit later than that. But because they have built this car in Australia and they have built this car in China, they do have sort of a roadmap. They know what they're doing, and they know what to do. They know what bottlenecks they've had in those markets. And now that they're bringing the production over to Giga, Texas, right up the road from me in Austin, I'm sure they know exactly what they're doing. They can get these things knocked out and moving fast and get production ramped pretty quickly. So I think that September, October timeframe, it sounds like a reasonable prediction from them, and I think that's in line with what my expectations are as well. So if you're looking for one of these things, go ahead and get your orders in now. Like I said, check the link below. You can search through everything Tesla there and look at the latest incentives, the best deals, and you can search through all you need to know about and see for the Model Y L long wheelbase. And like I said earlier, it does qualify for the referral program, and so you would be able to get the 3 extra months of full self-driving, which is the $300 value basically, guys. So, and that would give you like the 15 months of full self-driving. So if you're interested, check it out. Now this Model Y long wheelbase, Model Y L, has something called V2L. It's vehicle to load. In other words, you'll be able to have an adapter and be able to plug in like things for camping or, power tools, things like that, electronics, anything you would need, when you're out and about, say you're on a camping trip or something. So it's nice to be able to use some of the vehicle's electrical power and be able to plug in, a standard like 110 or something there, and be able to have that ability to tap into the power that's already in the vehicle. Now, as far as what I've read so far, you don't have the ability like you do with the Cybertruck to use the Cybertruck battery to power your home yet. It's not the V2H. It's not a V2H system in the Model Y L. So you won't be able to, buy that extra equipment that you would have to buy like you can on the Cybertruck and power your house. But you can still tap into the power of the vehicle and, have that adapter to plug things in, which is a nice touch and a nice feature to have, especially if you're out camping or say like in an emergency situation or you're just trying to operate some power tools in your garage or something like that. It's nice just to be able to plug it right in. So all right, guys, personally, I really think Tesla nailed it with this one. I think they hit it out of the park. I think this is going to be one of their top performers, top sales vehicles. And if you think about all the premium features and the value you get, the captain's chairs, the 3rd row seats, the extra room, the longer wheelbase, all the different premium aspects to the vehicle, the upgraded interior features, the rear display, the folding rear seats, USBs in all 3 rows, heated and ventilated front and second row, and heated rear. I mean, this car has all the premium features, and it's getting into that Model X territory, which is just a whole different vehicle altogether, a much more premium model. And so I think for families, this is going to be a great option. I think they're going to sell a lot of these. I don't think you'll have any regrets if you get the Tesla Model Y L. And I think it's going to be a top sales performer for years to come. You know, people have asked for years for a much more budget-friendly 3-row Tesla with extra room and everything they need for their families. And Tesla listened, and in my opinion, they delivered. And then when it comes down to it, one of the biggest differentiators for Tesla is the full self-driving, which I think personally is one of the biggest reasons I drive Tesla. The fact that the car can be continuously updated, you know, with software improvements and things like that over time. The car keeps improving and getting better over years instead of it just staying stagnant and just staying in one place. All right, guys, that's really all I have for you in this video. I'm super excited about the Model Y L, and I know it's going to be a top seller for Tesla. Let me know in the comments. I'm curious, what do you think? Are you considering the Model Y L? Have you been kind of following it over the last year or so since it's been out in China and then Australia and those markets? What is your favorite feature the Model Y L has? Is it the captain's chairs, the 3rd-row seats, the extra room? Do you already have a Model Y maybe and you're just considering it? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you and get your take. Also, let me know if there's any other things you would like me to cover about the Model Y L or any other topic, you know, Tesla or any kind of tech or anything happening in the Tesla and tech space. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And like I said before, check my link below. It's got everything you need as far as being able to search Tesla products in the Tesla Model Y L. And you'll also see all of the latest and greatest incentives there. And you'll also get, like I said, an extra basically $300 just for using the link. All right, guys, if you like this video, you like this kind of content, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye, guys.